Welcome, listeners, to another deep dive. Have you ever had that feeling where your free time just vanishes, you're
Yeah.
working hard, you're keeping busy, and still those moments you have off, they somehow evaporate without really recharging you? It's like we're all just constantly running near empty.
It's such a common thing these days, isn't it? Or a real modern challenge. But the sources we've dug into today, we're talking self-care research, digital wellness ideas, productivity insights they offer. Well, a pretty compelling antidote. It boils down to this powerful idea of intentionality.
Intentionality.
Yeah, we're going to explore how you can make even a few minutes truly beneficial, how to use that free time so it genuinely nourishes you rather than just, passing by.
That's powerful because often free time feels like maybe a void we need to fill or almost a luxury we can't afford. So how do our sources suggest we shift that view?
Well, what's really striking is how consistently they frame self-care. It's not just like an activity you tick off a list.
Yeah.
It's more of a fundamental mindset. It's about conscious restoration.
A mindset.
Exactly. One study even highlighted something fascinating. Our brains, when faced with unstructured leisure, can sometimes feel more stressed if we don't direct that time purposefully. It's a bit paradoxical.
Huh. So doing nothing can actually backfire if you're not intentional about it.
Sort of, yeah. The key takeaway here is that leisure, when it's intentional, isn't really separate from your productivity or well-being. It's actually a critical piece. It boosts physical health, mental clarity, even our ability to focus deeply later on. It's about being deliberate with those non-working hours, treating them like real investments in your overall vitality.
Okay, so it's less about somehow magically finding more time and more about using the time we do have more meaningfully, which I guess brings us to this idea of micro moments. How do the sources suggest we use these little bursts of time?
This is where that intentionality really, really comes into play. Our sources talk about micro moments as these strategic interventions. We're talking maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but they can act almost like a cognitive reset button.
The reset button, like what kind of thing?
Well, think about it. Maybe a quick, 3-minute deep breathing exercise that can genuinely help calm your nervous system. Or even just consciously looking out the window at some greenery, maybe for just 60 seconds. That's shown to reduce cortisol levels. So it's not just doing something nice for yourself, it's more targeted. It's using small, consistent doses of intentional care for specific needs.
That makes sense. But it also highlights a big challenge, protecting these moments, from the constant buzz. Digital distractions are huge. Did the sources offer any maybe surprising or particularly effective digital detox strategies?
Yeah, and it's usually not about just ditching tech completely, which isn't realistic for most of us. It's more about reclaiming your mental bandwidth. The sources often emphasize setting contextual boundaries rather than just hard rules.
Contextual, what does that mean?
So, for instance, instead of a strict no screens an hour before bed, maybe it's creating a digital sunset.
Oh.
You start winding down screen use gradually, maybe an hour or two before sleep. It lets your brain naturally shift gears.
Okay, like easing into it.
Exactly. And another idea was app batching, only checking notifications at specific planned times. That really cuts down on the constant cognitive drain of interruptions. The main goal is just to carve out mental space where you can actually engage, whether that's with another person, a book, or even just your own thoughts.
Right. So once we've intentionally carved out that space, how do the sources suggest we fill it? Beyond just, basic hobbies.
Yeah.
For real growth or enjoyment.
This is moving from just reclaiming time to really optimizing it for deeper engagement. The sources definitely highlight things like personal growth activities, learning a language, maybe picking up an instrument. These aren't just for self-improvement points. They actually build new neural pathways. That enhances cognitive flexibility, makes you more resilient to stress.
Interesting. So it's stimulating the brain in new ways.
Precisely. And even something simple like reading different genres that can engage distinct parts of your brain. It fosters empathy, divergent thinking. It goes way beyond just taking in information. It's really about finding activities that challenge you just enough so they feel rewarding. They spark new connections instead of just passive consumption.
I'm definitely seeing the pattern here. It keeps coming back to intentionality, strategic choices. And that seems to apply more broadly too, right? Like using planning tools, things maybe people only associate with work.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at the bigger picture, many successful people, according to what we read, don't just stumble upon free time. They architect it. They might do a time audit, for example. And that's not just tracking where hours go. It's about spotting that time confetti.
Time confetti.
Yeah, those little fragmented minutes that just get frittered away and then consciously trying to bundle them. Or using tools like say, the Eisenhower matrix. It's not just for work tasks. You can use it to prioritize personal activities. Figure out what's genuinely important for your well-being versus what just feels urgent.
Okay, applying work tools to personal life.
Right. Even the Pomodoro technique known for work, bursts. It's fundamentally about intentionally building in those short breaks for restoration. It's all about preventing the urgent from constantly drowning out the important, especially when it comes to your own time.
So, thinking about all this, what does it really mean for you, listening right now? This deep dive seems to show that making your free time beneficial isn't really about cramming more in. It's more about a shift, isn't it? Intentionally choosing what truly nourishes you, even if it's in small, consistent ways. It's about prioritizing your well-being, maybe without feeling guilty about it, and strategically pulling back moments from all the noise.
Exactly right. And remember, the end goal isn't some kind of perfect, hyper-efficient leisure schedule. That sounds exhausting. It's more about cultivating a life where your downtime actively contributes to your vitality, where you have that space, like one source beautifully put it, to stand and stare. The real aim is a life where your moments of rest feel just as intentional, just as meaningful as your moments of work.
Okay, so here's something really interesting for you to think about. Knowing how powerful intentionality can be, even in just minutes. What one, maybe surprising, micro moment could you start integrating? Or perhaps, what's a new way you could engage with a hobby you already have? Something that could genuinely recharge you and maybe even change how you perceive time itself. What small intentional choice could spark your next big aha moment?